Hi fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and I'm joined now with the one and only Regis Prograis. Regis, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. I just watched the video that you did with the Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, we had fun yesterday. Yeah, a whole lot of fun yesterday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought it was funny that you threw one into the lake.
Yeah, man, you know what? Like, kids are like weird these days. You know, like, so I put $100 in. Well, I put more than that, but I put one egg with $100 in it, and I threw it in the lake. And my son and my nephew, they really let me down because they didn't do it. Like, they didn't go for $100 to me when my son is 7, my nephew is 10. When I was 7 and 10 years old, $100 is like $10,000, right? So it's like, bro, I would do anything. I would have swam 8 miles to go get that $100. It's like, bro, and my son was like, he didn't even go. You know, a grown up had to go get the money. You know, it was crazy. It's like, bro, like, what's wrong with y'all kids these days? My son, he was good. He found like $27 or whatever. So he's like good with that. He bought like V-Bucks and all that type of stuff. But bro, $100, like, I don't know, kids are weird.
Yeah, I feel you. I would have gone through a lot of lengths to get me $100 when I was young.
Right, exactly.
You know what? I was just saying the other day, it was my niece's birthday, and she's only 8, and everyone was giving her, like, because she doesn't understand that a $1 bill is less than like a $20 bill. So she wanted a bunch of ones. So everyone literally, like, if they were going to give her $20, everyone gave her 21. So she really felt like she was just getting the most, right?
Right.
And the interesting part of it is that she was just like, she was so like just amused with how much money that she was being given. I go, you know what? When I was her age, I was lucky if I got a $5 bill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
$5 was like, that's a lot of money.
Exactly.
And she ended up, I think she got like almost $300 with everyone just bringing ones. I was like, well,
how old is she?
She's 8.
8 years old with $300.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
Well,
that's
because
a
everyone
lot
was
of money.
bringing her like, you know, $10 with 10 ones and 20
Right.
ones. So it's just, I mean, the stack was massive.
So what is her plan? Do you know her plan with her 300? Is she gonna buy like V-Bucks or Roblox or something like that, or what? Something else?
She never wants to spend it.
That's actually good.
Never wants to spend it. She always just has like, she just has her money in her box. She actually has like a chest. She doesn't want to spend it. She's like, do you want to buy anything? She's like, no. So I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
that's actually a good trait to have. That's early on. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? It's interesting to, well, first and foremost, thank you for making the time, because I've realized that you and I have never actually done an interview together. Even when I was still doing the World Boxing Super Series hosting, I did the transition just before your guys' season began. So
right.
it's nice to finally speak with you. Thank you for making the time. So you got a lot going on right now, my friend. Triller coming in. They're really making waves at the moment, and they're spending a lot of money. Talk to me about sort of how that sort of came about, because I think everyone was a bit taken aback when they saw, they're like, oh shit, you're going to be fighting Ivan Redkach.
Man, it's excellent. You know, I spar with Ivan, so I can't believe. Sometimes I can't pinch me, wake me up, because it's like, you're gonna pay me this much money to fight Ivan. You know, like a fucking. Can I curse? Yeah, right. Like you know, we sparred together and stuff like that. It's like, oh my god, you know. But I'm just excited. It's the event is gonna be huge, and honestly, I thought this was boxing needed for a long time. You know, I have a street marketing team in New Orleans, and when I fought out there in July, like 2 years ago, something like that, they want to do the same thing, which is bring the artists in and making an event. You know, and now this is what Triller is doing. You know, they're gonna have so many: Justin Bieber, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Doja Cat, Saweetie. You know, all these people, they're gonna be there. And, you know, so it's making the fight that much bigger. You know, people really, they want to tune into this. They want to watch it. You know, you don't have, in boxing, it's only a few names that it's not just a boxing match, but it's a whole event. You know, you got a Floyd Mayweather, of course, that's an event. A Manny Pacquiao, a Canelo, you know, maybe like an Anthony Joshua. You know, those fighters, their names carry so much weight that when they do fight, it's an event, you know. But you know, for the most part, you know, it's not. You know, it's just a boxing match, and most of the hardcore boxing fans are going to tune in, you know. But this time, you know, with the whole Triller thing going on, it's a whole event, and I'm excited about it. I'm just happy, and I'm excited about it. And I want to see where it's going to go.
First of all, Snoop Dogg, his commentary is just too much.
Yeah.
He's too good. I was so happy to see that they're bringing him back regularly, because he was just so funny.
Right.
Did you hear the stuff he was saying last
Of course I saw. Yeah, of course I saw. Of course, yeah, definitely. So
yeah.
I was in New Orleans when the Tyson fight was.
Yeah, another thing too was, you know, it's funny because Triller, I was supposed to host the very first event with the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones event. And when they had sort of come out and just been like, oh, hey, we're looking for a host, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, the schedules didn't add up. But I just remember thinking like, wow, they're really doing something different, because I know that they said that there was going to be performances and things like that. We have seen people in the past, like Rock Nation, for example. They have made their attempt to sort of do something different. But I think what Triller's doing that we haven't seen with the others is, like you said, they're sort of they're mixing not just boxing, but with entertainment and also other genres. Like, you're getting people who aren't even boxers who are going, so sort of like white collar boxing, mixing it in with boxing, but you're bringing in people with large fan bases. These aren't just anybody, you know, like Jake Paul. What are your thoughts on Jake Paul? Because a lot of people have a lot of mixed reactions towards sort of how he's building himself up in boxing.
I mean, you can't hate on him. You know, that's one thing. A lot of people, of course, I have conversations with, you know, the old school boxers, the old school boxing trainers and stuff. And they, man, I hate to see this, that, you know, boxing is going to shit and all that type of stuff they say. Excuse me. But I mean, listen, popularity and fame is different these days. You know, I was at the event in LA when his brother fought, and it was these people, all these YouTube fans, and so not fans, but the celebrities, they was walking down, and you know, I didn't know who these people were. I guess I'm getting older and stuff like that, but I didn't know who these people were. But they was like super famous. You go, I looked some of the people up. I was in the VIP with some of them, most of them, and I looked them up. I looked up some of the people after, and like they like, you know, like super famous, like really really famous people. So it's just different these days. And, you know, Jake Paul, I mean, hey, he's doing his thing now. I think if he keeps on this track, you know, that's a good thing. Now, of course, everybody's saying if he fights a real fighter, you know, that's a different story. But hey, I mean, who won't do it? If he can make this type of money fighting whoever he wants and stuff like that, why not? Why not do it, right?
Are you supportive of sort of the retired generation sort of coming out and wanting to fight again, like Oscar De La Hoya said that he's
I am when they fighting somebody else that's like, you know, another legend that's retired. I don't want to see Oscar fight a prime, you know, like a Charlo, a Jamal Charlo or something like that. I don't want to see that. That'll be a massacre. I don't want to see that. But I am a fan of, you know, let them. It's kind of like the Big Three league, right? With the basketball, you know, they doing the same thing. So I like to see that when they coming out and they fighting older legends, because you know, boxing is a sport. Not even just boxing, athletes, period. You know, they want to. When you still are good, but you just can't compete at that highest level, right? Against younger people, because you know, of course, Father Time gets the best of everybody, right? So, yeah, I would like to see that, you know, some of those things like that, like if Oscar fights whoever, I don't know, older legend or whatever, well, you know.
Roy Jones was saying that he would like to fight him.
Hey, let them two fight, you know, let those two fight until it dies. I think it's good now, but I think at the same time it will get played out, just like everything. Everything will get old, everything will get played out and stuff like that. So I think right now it's good, it's hot, but then the whole thing with the Tyson thing, that was exciting because it's Mike Tyson, right? Everybody wants Mike Tyson. It's just you know, just I don't know, I can't even describe Mike Tyson in one word, but everybody is just always wants to see what Mike Tyson is going to do or what Mike Tyson is going to say. You know, he had his podcast. He says all kinds of stuff because he's so brilliant and he can click at any time. He can say what he wants. He can do what he wants anytime. So I think everybody wants to see like a Mike Tyson. So that was the perfect person to have that first one, to have that first match. But I think with the rest of the fighters and stuff, I think it'll get old. People, they not gonna want to watch it forever. You know, they still gonna want to watch, you know, younger fighters fight, of course.
Right. Well, you and Ivan are really the only real boxers.
Right.
Real fight, as I would say.
Right.
Not to be disrespectful to anyone else, but you know, at the end of the day, you guys are
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So you said you've sparred with Ivan before. Do you have a prediction? Do you have anything that you?
The only thing I'm worried about with Ivan is which hand I'm gonna knock him out with. That's it. That's the only thing I worry about with Ivan. I can't pick the round, but which hand I'm gonna knock him out with. That's all. That's the only thing I worry about with Ivan. Yeah, I don't do the predictions and all that type of stuff. But you know, not even talking about that. But I'm just super focused right now. Everybody telling me, I know the eyes are crazy on me, but I kind of don't even pay attention to that stuff. But I've been busting my ass. I've been training my ass up. I've been really, really focused. Living like a fighter. I was the whole thing, my whole career, I never really lived like a fighter. You know, I was already a world champion. Even when I became a world champion, I was number one in the weight class and I was a world champion. I still didn't live like a fighter. But now, since my last fight, you know, the Heraldez fight, that was my first fight, like really being focused and living like a fighter. And so that's the same thing I'm doing right now. Like, it's really all boxing, like almost all day. I train 3 times a day, about 5-6 hours total. And so I'm just busting my ass, focus. I wake up, I go to the gym, of course. Then I come back home like I am right now. I'll do things like this. I'll do interviews and stuff. And I'll eat, mess with my kids, my wife, and I take a nap. And then and this is an everyday thing. Then I wake up and I train again. And then chill and then train again. So this is every day. This is 6 days a week for me. Sunday is my only rest day. And so I'm just super, super focused right now. And it's not even, it doesn't matter who it's going to be. I feel like this is what I have to do. My goal is to be pound for pound. And this is now I'm living, like I said, since my last camp, I've been living like a fighter. And this is my lifestyle right now.
So there was the talks, obviously, of you and PBC. We know that you still plan to go that direction after Triller.
Right.
You know, Triller just sort of came along for you. And of course, you take the opportunity, good money, good opportunity. Why not? Especially a big platform like that, because you're going to be also seen in front of a new audience. Just like you were saying, you didn't know who these YouTubers were. Well, some YouTuber fans may not know who you are, but they're going to know.
Of course.
Night, right?
I mean, Jake Paul is super, super popular, you know, so most of, you know, not saying most of his fans, but, you know, probably, you know, some of his fans, the majority of his fans, they're going to tune in, they're going to watch me, and then they'll be fans of me after that, you know. So I think we couldn't turn this opportunity down, you know. It was two things on the table at the time, and we was like, my coach was like, man, this is a no-brainer. You have to do this, and you know, so that's what we're doing.
So let's talk a bit about that direction. I know I just actually interviewed Maurice Hooker a few weeks ago, and we know that there was the talks there between you guys. He couldn't make 147 anymore. We know that you want to stay at 140 in the meantime, but have the goal to eventually go up to 147. Who is on the I guess the hit list at 140 then that's sort of keeping you back from moving up to 147?
Well, first, you see, the thing is, in boxing, like, you just never know the landscape, right? So I do want to be I kind of want to be a champion again. I kind of just have that. I felt like, I'm not going to say, I don't want nobody to take this out of context. I don't want to say I got robbed or whatever, but I just feel like I should still be a champion right now. And it's something that I just want personally. I want to be a champion again at 140. And as far as hit list, of course, I think me and Josh Taylor, we have to have a rematch. The fight was too close, and we have to have a rematch. But Adrien Broner, now he said he was going to 40, but he couldn't make it, so he went to 47. But I think that was the fight I always wanted, and I think that's going to be the fight. I'm really not positive, but I'm pretty sure like that fight is going to happen. You know, either the next fight or the fight after that, maybe for a belt at 140. You know, it depends what's going on with Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. But I think that's a huge fight for me at 140. So, yeah, I think that's like the hit list. So
basically, you want the winner of Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor.
Yes, but if it's at 40, I think they're going up to 40. I mean, if they're going up to 47, then I'll probably go up there too. But if not, and I don't think if I was Josh Taylor, I wouldn't fight me. You know, I wouldn't fight me if I was Josh Taylor. I think they're with Top Rank, so I think they're gonna do. Whoever wins that fight is gonna go up to 147 and fight Terrence Crawford. Most likely, I think that's what's gonna happen. Whoever wins that fight, we'll see. I think they're gonna go up. I don't think it's no point. Whoever wins that fight, it's no point for them to stay at 140 anyway. You know, they'll have all the belts. So what point is nothing else at 140? You know, except like say if Josh Taylor wins, then you know me and him can fight, but it don't even have to be at 140. It could be at 147.
Well, Josh Taylor definitely said that he intends to go up to 147, whether he wins or he loses.
Right. I think both of them are. I think both of them, win or lose, I think both of them are going to go up to 147, period. And I think that's what they're going to do anyway. So I'll see either one of them at 147. But for right now, I kind of want to be a champion again at 140, and then we'll see. But the landscape in boxing changes so much that you just never know what's going to happen. You know, they might offer me some crazy money fight at 147. It's like, all right, it's something I can't refuse. Like I never thought that I'll be fighting Ivan Redkach. So now I'm fighting Ivan Redkach. It's like, all right, if that's what you offer me, okay, let's do it, right? So either 140, 47, but we'll see. It's just the landscape of boxing just changes so much that you just never know what's going to happen.
Right. So we know that Teofimo also wants the winner.
Mm-hmm.
And is that someone that you would entertain a fight with if he moved up?
Yeah, of course. I definitely moved up. Yeah, to 40. Yeah, I definitely will fight Teofimo for sure.
Because he definitely wants to move up at some point, and I think he's really enticed with the idea of the winner of that fight.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I fight Teofimo also. Yeah, definitely for sure.
Mm-hmm. So Adrien Broner, where did this come from? It seems like there's been some words exchanged there. Who sort of started that whole situation?
I called Adrien Broner out years ago. You know, after I knocked out Julius Undongo. No, not Julius Undongo. After I knocked out Joel Diaz, I called out. You know, it is premature, of course. I called out Adrien Broner and I called out Terrence Crawford. And it's something, it just come, and then with the whole thing, with the Broner thing, it's just a fight I wanted for a long, long time. And I think now it's getting closer and closer and closer. You know, I mean, I kind of know what I am. As far as my name, I'm a very high risk, low reward type of fight for those type of fighters, you know. So right now, that's why I'm fighting on something like this, to build my profile. You know, I think that's what I have to do right now, is to really build my profile and really invest in myself and just keep winning. And I think those big fights, you know, they will happen. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Sorry. Do you think that Adrien Broner will be your first fight with PBC, or you're hopeful it'll be your first fight?
Maybe not the first, maybe the second. Maybe the second or something like that. I'm thinking maybe like a Robert Easter and then a Broner, but you never know. I mean, like I said, you never know what's going to happen in boxing. So we'll see.
So we know that there's the one fight deal with PBC, but do you intend to do maybe like a long-term thing with anybody, or do you want to sort of kind of do what a lot of the other guys are doing at the moment, which is just sort of having the free range to go from one promoter to the next, depending on which fights they could line up for themselves?
I think that's a question for a manager. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. You know, it depends. It depends who can give me the best deal, the best offers, and stuff like that. I think that's It all depends.
Gervonta, read something there. How did that happen? Because you said that you were sort of caught off guard, like with where that sort of came from. So do you have any idea as to why?
All right. So what happened? All right. So this is the story with that, right? So the whole Gervonta Davis thing got started by after my last fight with Heraldez, I was promised that I was gonna fight for that belt that Mario Barrios has. I was promised I'm gonna fight for that belt. Then the weeks passed because they was like, yeah, you're gonna definitely, like I said, I promised. It was a promise that I was gonna fight for that. So as the weeks passed, they said it's not gonna happen. Barrios is too big. He cannot make 140. He has to he's not making 140. He has to go to 147. So then I was like, all right, whatever. You know, if he can't make it, I can't call him out no more, right? So I left it alone. And so then after that, I saw, you know, a few weeks ago and stuff, I saw that Gervonta was, you know, going to fight Mario Barrios. And then I said, I was like, that's some bitch ass shit, because I was supposed to fight him for the belt, and all of a sudden he's gonna fight all of a sudden he's fighting Gervonta. So I said it on that part of Barrios's part. Then one of the boxing, whatever, YouTube channels, Instagram pages, they made a post with me and Gervonta Davis who would win. And then Gervonta said, he said what he said, and then I said what I said. And that's kind of how that little beef or whatever started.
So there was never like I'm gonna fight you sort of situation. It was just
never.
Okay.
It was never that. It was somebody that somebody that just put a post up of me and him, and then he said what he said, and of course, I responded. But yeah, I wasn't aiming nothing at Gervonta at first. I was aiming something at Barrios, because I was supposed to fight him for the belt, and I found out, he was gonna do it. So I kind of just, I said what I said.
Did you ever get an explanation as to why that happened? Like Barrios went with Davis instead of fighting you?
I mean, I would know. It's probably bigger money. Why would he fight me? I would kill Barrios. So why would he fight me for of course not. He rather take his chance with a 30 pounder, 35 pounder, and and then probably bigger money. So I'm not saying I would blame him, for fighting him, but it was just, for me, I was just like some bitch ass shit, like I said.
Going back to something you said earlier, you said like you wouldn't fight me, or you wouldn't want, I'm sorry, how do I say this? You would think it's best that Josh Taylor didn't fight you now. You're saying it as in you've made these significant changes within yourself. Was there a point where you felt like, I don't want to speak out of line by saying this or take what you might have said wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it sort of came off like as if you at one point weren't taking boxing as seriously as you are now?
I'm all right. I always took boxing seriously, but I didn't live like my outside life. I wouldn't even say that. No, I took it serious. Don't get me wrong, I took it serious, but I'm more focused now. So, all right. So if people don't know, after I won the world championship, I beat Redkach, and I was a world champion, number 1 in the world at 140. And one of the things I did, which I shouldn't have did, was a mistake. I moved to LA. I moved to LA for a year. Now I knew when I moved to LA, I knew it was gonna be temporary. I knew I didn't want to live out there forever. It was gonna be a temporary thing. I said in my head for like 2 or 3 years I was gonna live in LA, But when I lived in LA, I lived on vacation. Like it's just. Do you live in LA right now?
No, well, I've lived in LA for 12 years, so
okay.
I know what you're talking about. It's
right.
It's very easy to get caught up in LA.
Yeah. So, and I don't get me wrong, and I wasn't into, I don't drink, I don't smoke, never did none of that stuff anyway. So I wasn't doing that. But for me, I'm a like a beach and ocean and water type of person, mountains and outdoorsy type of persons, right? So when I would go, of course, I would always go to the gym, and I'm serious about that type of stuff. Always, every day I go to the gym and train. But after I leave the gym, I'm going to the beach. I'm going spit. I got into spit fishing out there. I got into free diving. I was going to Catalina Island, doing all that type of stuff. So that was kind of on my mind at the gym. I'm at the gym. I'm thinking like, all right, we're going to do this and go through the motions. Then like, I'm going to do this after, right? But now in Texas, it's a whole different thing, in here, like I said, like I come here, who the hell is calling me? Hello? Somebody called me. So out here in Texas, I'm just way more focused. I live, like I said, I live in training camp. That's just it. I live in training camp. I'm not just saying my success has been that I literally train all year round, and I live in training camp, and well, like I said, when I lived in LA, it was like, living on vacation. And the way I lived in LA, I had a big old house out there. I had made a lot of money being a world champion. So I had a big house, and I had my friends come live with me, and I had another family living with me and stuff. And it was just, my daddy, he came in, he visited, and he was like, this is toxic. You don't need this. And he told my trainer, like, he getting soft in LA and stuff like that. And I don't think I was getting soft in LA or nothing, but it was just somewhere that I didn't need to be as far as my career. And I don't get me wrong, I loved LA. Like I said, I really, really love living in LA. Like, the way I lived in LA would be the way I would want to retire. My son's school was around the corner. I would walk him to school every day. I lived in the mountains. it was like perfect living, you know. But like I said, I lived in vacation, and I know I don't need that. Mm-hmm. So that's why I moved back to Texas.
It's smart of you to sort of clock that pretty early on, because I think often a lot of times people don't think of it that way, but it's true. There's a lot of distractions, and it takes a certain type of, you know, mentality to sort of lock out the fact that, oh, I just want to go to the beach, or yeah, I just want to go hiking, but you really have to sort of buckle everything down and make all these sacrifices. What would you say? Like, do you make weight comfortably? Are you someone who just makes weight comfortably?
I won't say it's not hard, but it's not easy. You know, it's not like super hard, it's gonna kill me, but it's not easy at the same time, you know. So I mean, it depends. So the fight with Josh Taylor, I made it easy. That was easy. The fight with before that, I made it easy, you know. But the last fight, I missed the weight by like 1.5 pounds or something like that. So, but I kind of, you know, you don't make excuses, but I kind of blamed it. I didn't make weight for a whole year. And then the bubble thing is like, it was just, we couldn't leave the room. And one day we had, like, you have to go to the gym at a certain time, and then we couldn't leave the room. And it was just kind of, it wasn't a good situation. So I did what I can, but yeah, but it's not hard. It's not, like I said, it's not hard, but it's not easy at the same time.
How are you sort of adapting to the fact that things are very different? Like, I know even for this Triller card, the media isn't really going to be accessible, or you guys aren't going to be very accessible to the media. Everything's going to be virtual. Mm-hmm. How has it been for you, sort of experiencing things, like you said, in a bubble?
Well, I mean, so that was the first fight I had since the bubble. You know, my last fight was the first fight I had since the bubble, the whole bubble thing. And yeah, it's just, you can't leave the bubble. So everything has to be in there. You usually, you know, we can go outside to take a run. We can go where we want. We can find a sauna. And it's just like, in the bubble stuff, you can't do none of that stuff. You know, I had to have a personal sauna in my room, and it's always different. One day, like I said, one of the day, it was a Tuesday, and I couldn't leave the room. I literally could not leave the room. So I had to work out in my room, and it's like a little hotel room. You're trying to work out, and it's, you know, all you can do is really jump rope and shadow box. You really can't do nothing. You can't run. You run in place and stuff. So you can't really do nothing. It's hard to sweat. And so it was, it's really hard to adjust into that stuff. So I think a lot of fighters, not a lot of fighters, but some fighters are, you know, having trouble making that just because of all the restrictions and stuff.
Yeah, I also heard from a few different fighters that they found it to be a little bit mentally draining. Like, it wasn't like you can just walk outside, clear your head. You know what I mean? It's like you were sort of confined, and it's just not the same.
Basically, yeah, you just, it's not good. Yeah, you just in the room, and you go to the gym, you go to the room, and that's it, literally for like a whole week, and it's not good.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap up, I didn't get to ask you, what was your prediction for Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, or do you have one at all?
Yeah, I got Josh Taylor winning. I definitely think Josh Taylor should be able to win. He's a good inside fighter. He's a good outside fighter. So, I think Ramirez has trouble with boxers. You know, he had trouble with Cepeda. He had trouble with Postol. You know, he still won, of course, but I think it's because he wins those fights because of maybe his shape. He's in such tremendous shape, but both of these fights, they're going to come in absolute tip-top shape. And I think it's going to depend on who's the hungriest that's going to prevail, because Josh Taylor will be the first person from Scotland in Scotland's history to be to have 4 belts, and then Jose Ramirez will be the first Mexican ever to have that. So who wants it the most? You know, I think it'll be a good fight. I'll definitely be in Vegas for that fight. You know, not just to call him out, you know, and talk shit, but to actually, you know, be at the fight and to watch the fight as a fan. But I think that Josh Taylor should be able to be, you know, I fought him. He's strong on the inside. You know, he's good on the outside also. So he should be able to win. So I think I go with Josh Taylor.
Another fight that's coming up is Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. Would you like to give a prediction for that?
I got Canelo, man. I think Canelo is like a creative player right now, to be honest. I think Canelo is like, you know, almost like, I can't say unstoppable, because Mike Tyson was unstoppable at one point in time too. But yeah, Canelo is just, I think he's just ahead. He's just a step ahead above everybody right now. So yeah, I got Canelo.
Do you see anyone beating Canelo at this point? Is there anyone that you would sort of give an edge towards? Because a lot of
Jamal Charlo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamal Charlo. You know, I'm not just. Of course, I am biased. I grew up with him. He's one of my friends. I'm really biased about it, but you know, he's strong in his mentality. You know, he's big. He's strong. He has a good jab. You know, he can move. He can move his feet. He can be slick at sometimes. But his mindset, his mentality. You know, like you know, we kind of all came up together and stuff like that. Both of them, Jamel and Jamal, like their mentality, they're so hungry, you know, and they have a chip on their shoulders. And I think that's what, yeah, I think that's what, that's the edge I'll give them.
Do you think that Jamal would move up though to 168 if he got a shot at?
I think so. I think they said he's trying to fight Benavidez. And Benavidez is 168, right? So I think that, I think he'll move up for Canelo.
Yeah, because that would be the way. Because I know that Canelo's made it very clear that he plans to stay at 168 for a while because he doesn't really want to go back to 160, and he definitely doesn't want to go up to light heavy.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I think, he'll go up for sure. I mean, Jamal is big, man. Jamal is, he's super big and super strong. So, I'm pretty sure he'll go up to fight him.
Yeah. Well, we all want to see that fight because I know a lot of us be talking about that fight.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
Right.
Well, Regis, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I wish you nothing but the best. What is it? April 17th.
Less than 2 weeks away. Yes. Yes.
So for people who are completely illiterate, and let me tell you that I have myself, I was like, how do we watch this fight? It's available by download via Fight TV, correct? Mm-hmm. And is it just Triller.com? How do people watch this fight?
The app. I think it's the app. You download the Triller, right? You download the Triller app, and honestly, that's all I know. You download the Triller app, and I have links and stuff they tell me to post and all that stuff. So that's kind of the only thing I know how to do it.
Okay. Download the app, and it's also available on Fight TV. I know that much. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, I wish you nothing but the best. Let's see you get your shine on April 17th. Any final words?
That's it, man. Thanks for having me. I'm glad I took the time out. You actually had a really good interview, really good conversation. You know, some of the people that actually the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, it's like going through the motions, you know, and that was good, you know. So thank you, and I'm glad I took the time out.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we can get to catch up with you after your fight and see what's going on next for you. And regardless, I will see you at the Taylor Ramirez fight.
I'll see you there. Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Well, have yourself a good day then.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else